Good morning and warm welcome to everyone. Hope the sound is clear. Just reminding translators to unmute. We're going to start with a short 2-minute video of Bapdada speaking a meditation reflection, followed by Drishti, which is self-conscious vision, for a few minutes, and then we'll start.
Every 1 second every 1 second सभी बहुत मीठी मीठी स्वीट साइलेंस के स्टेज के अनुभव में खो जाओ।
Shanti. And good morning. It is nice to start with the drishti from Baba. We use the word drishti. It is like a vision, soul conscious vision. And we will be finishing today's session also, coming back to Baba and listening to Baba. Baba dealing with the Yoga Prayog. So those who have not been familiar with Bap Dada concept image, we described in some details in the past. The Supreme Being, God, he has a part, we said, part in the drama. And before 1969, we used the word Baba for God, Supreme Soul, Shiva. And he used the body of Brahma Baba. But after 1969, when Brahma Baba became Avyakt, Baba used the body of Dadi Gulzar. So what you saw there is body of Dadi Gulzar, but Baba using the body, Baba using the eyes, and Baba meeting us. Baba can use the physical medium, and it is a great fortune of the Zoom that Zoom becomes one of the medium for God to use. So that's what we saw, and we will be seeing again. You may have some thing to ask more. Feel free to type in this connection if you want to ask. But most of you, we have discussed it in the past meetings. Now let us come back. You saw Baba's emphasis is on concentration, merge, and completely kojao. Baba says, immerse yourself in that experience. And other thing Baba emphasizes in 1 second. Don't even think about it, plan, just get there. So let us create another minute. And during this minute, what we are understanding, we are coming in the essence. Ordinarily, life is an expansion. Story is an expansion. Even knowledge, and this is like there is expansion. Expansion has a part. Just like there is a seed and there is a tree, expansion is important. That's why it is there. But expansion should not deceive us. That is the thing. We shouldn't get trapped in the expansion. That's why the balance. So let us create this 1 minute, and preparation for that minute. We are planning to be soul conscious, or soul is seeing himself, seeing the soul in the home, in the soul world. So it's extraordinary thing. Right now here, Prashant is talking, but the mind can go in the soul world. Mind is such a thing, a completely different reality. Can go in the soul world and actually see the soul. So it is like you are seeing yourself. Mind has this ability. So the soul is aware of the story. Great story. It's a story at a distance. Soul is aware of his great family. They are all noble souls, aware of that also, aware of God and eternal bond with God and love and the greatness of God, aware of it. All round wonder, aware of it. But right now, the focus is on this presence, soul as an invisible presence in this expanse of light. Knowing that this dimension is timeless and he doesn't need to know anything else. Soul exists forever. Thank you. I'm just reading a few words from Avyakta Murlis of the past. May you put a full stop to whatever has happened until now. Not to think about the past means to make intense effort. When you think about the past, time, energy, and thoughts are all wasted. Now is not a time to have any waste, because even 2 moments of the confluence age, that is, even if 2 seconds are wasted, it is like wasting many years. Know the importance of time and put a full stop. To put a full stop means to become full of all treasures. In our discussions, we saw that the ego within us wants to go into expansion. He cannot put a full stop. Our success is in putting full stop and going beyond. This process is made easy when we use the right intellect. Stone intellect. For the stone intellect, this story is big, as we saw before. And then it will go into details. But pettiness gets caught into petty things. That's why 90% of the thoughts, ordinary human being are cyclical thoughts, caught into some petty. He has time to think of the petty things. To put a full stop, this is the first step for a Raj Yogi to come out of this spin. So what happens when you are using paras and understands that is a story and script? How much will you think about Cinderella? Why, what? All these questions and complaints. It appears irrelevant. That's why very simple first step. Use the best intellect. With that intellect, you are seeing the story for what it is. Whole thing, present, past, you are aware of it, but its power, that Ravan's power becomes less. Ravan is not dealing with it. And now you are balanced. You can see what is beyond. Now for the next few minutes, let us understand. Once you use paras, the game is different. And the word normal, that is important for us. We are not having a sort of 5-minute meditation or some meditation session and then we become normal. Body consciousness is not normal. We are seeing this life of a yogi is normal. Paras is normal. It is like we get used to this. For a long time, the other side, upside down, appeared normal. To be dangling in the story appeared normal. To think you are Cinderella appeared normal. Now we are seeing how strange that is. We are seeing what is normal. And so the awake, one who is awake, soul that is conscious, he sees alokik. Remember this word, alokik. And it has got a few meanings, but unearthly, that beautiful translation. But it includes invisible and subtle. I will show the translation afterwards. But one who is conscious soul, for him this alokik dimension is normal. He knows that he is invisible, presence, that is natural. He knows everyone is like this, that is his family. All are angelic souls, like a presence, but angelic. It is a family and father, all alokik. This word is alokik, divya, divine. Means no Ravan, then it becomes divya. No vibration of Ravan, then desire, disappointment, anxiety, that is all Ravan. Comparison, competition. No Ravan. So what remains is deity qualities. So the one who is awake, he understands his world is alokik, divya, eternal. subtle, and invisible. They are similar, but still we are using these words. Invisible, angelic. All we have done is use paras, and this dimension, it opens up for the conscious soul. He himself is alaukic. His world is alaukic. His family is alaukic, subtle. His father is also invisible, subtle, divya, alaukic. And so if all are immortal and they don't need anything for their existence, they are naturally ignorant of the word desire. Deities are described as ignorant of desires. Ichha matram avidya. So they are naturally, they don't need anything for their existence. And when there is no ichha, no desire, no desperation, there are no disappointments. So this region itself is free from sorrow. No vibration of desire, no vibration of disappointment. That's why there is this bliss in the air. Background is, we use the word peace, but it is peace in which there is this silent bliss. Everything is good, everyone is good, forever. Everyone is lovely, worthy of love forever. Everyone belongs to this family. All souls, all harmless. Not just harmless, they are desireless and sorrowless. They are beings of bliss and love. Harmless, but also innocent, selfless, childlike. We are seeing the all-round greatness of this dimension. We also understand what everyone is missing, just getting stuck in that story with Patthar. They are missing this truth. This is not just a meditation, this is their truth. And they don't even know this exists, as if there's a blackout. The whole thing is blocked, they are stuck. But every second, every minute, we are creating experience of this. We're just experiencing it, shining light. That becomes like a lighthouse effect, which means it will become easy for others to see this. You create that little attention, and as Baba emphasized, concentration, attention, use the best intellect that is required. But then you are creating light. Every minute you are experiencing this. And just like you shine light somewhere, attention of others go there. So you are shining light in this dimension. It will become easy for others to wake up and see that truth. This whole reality, you are understanding this is normal. That's why you can sustain it, which means you want to make this as your life. We don't want to forget this. Soul consciousness should become normal. For the one who is awake, soul that is awake, during these minutes, during that time, he knows it's a new start. He is not an extension of Cinderella. Ego and Cinderella, it is a different thing altogether. Ignorance, ego. Ego remains ego. Ego will not become egoless. So that was one. When the soul wakes up, it's a new start. He's not trying to remove weaknesses and remove attachments. He is out. It is like waking up. That's what. He's out of the dream. That's a different game. He sees things differently. One who is awake, he knows his eternal bond with God, knows the worthiness to belong to God, to be loved by God. So he knows worthiness to have the company of God. Worthy to know God. Having that right. He belongs to this. This is what he knows. He is not trying to become worthy, having some doubt. No, he knows the right. This is his home. This is his world. Also knows his complete freedom from the story. Knows the story, some details, but at the same time free. Sees it as normal. It's a close bond in which there is friendship and belonging. At this level, everyone is lovely and loving. There is nothing else. So also with the Supreme Father, Supreme Friend. For the awake soul, he feels worthy. As was said before, if it is ego-based effort, ego will not feel worthy. He says, tomorrow maybe I will be worthy of being loved by God. Not today. Ego will forever feel like that. But soul-based effort, from the first second he feels he is loved. God remembers him. Just one step of using the right intellect and waking up. This is one step. He naturally feels he is lucky. Feeling of lucky. We got a big lottery, big prize. And it is, he knows he has got the best. Every aspect is the best. He knows his world is complete. He got everything. That's why he's not lacking anything. He knows his world is perfect. Perfect father, perfect home, perfect family, perfect mind, perfect self. It's all round. Even the drama story, it is perfect. As a story, it is perfect. Angle from which he sees perfection. Full. Every area full. The most refined treasures are this bliss and peace and security. Complete, full. So there is no gap of emptiness of any kind. Surprisingly, the beauty exists at the incorporeal level. Experience of perfection, experience of beauty. Just as we say the virtues makes one beautiful, something similar. So it is beautiful. And it's a region of love, a region of happiness. All round wonder, the feelings of the wonder, starting from the self. This immortality and this life with God, a life of love and truth. All of this is a wonder. And he knows the whole scene is timeless, it is eternal. Beyond harm, no one can change this. No one can deny you. At this level, no one can deny you. No one can deprive you of this. No one can deprive anyone. It is a celestial celebration. Celebration in the sky. Silent celebration with God, family. Celebration because in any celebration there is love, there is respect, there is belonging, and there is happiness of the company. In the form of the essence, there is true celebration. That's why there is no need of sound. Silent celebration. Even as these souls, awake souls, presence, they are the invisible travelers. They are the invisible observers, invisible guests. They come in the story world. They are also invisible incarnates. They got a task, they got a mission. Just like Baba comes with a focused task, these invisible travelers, they are not coming sightseeing. They got a mission. At the present time, there is a task. So they come in this world, but with a caution not to become unconscious. This is the caution. You come in the story, come in this world, but the extra attention to remain alive, to remain awake. Thank you. It will be nice if there are any thoughts, anything you would like to share.
Thank you. Just some questions for clarification. Question from D. When you said presence, does that mean itself earthly, unearthly, and zero vibrations of drama? What's meant by presence?
Presence is a nice English word. It is like we said, angelic presence. It means it is not physical, it is non-physical being. That's all. So we may, for some it may be easier to relate as presence, otherwise point of light, that is another. We are talking about something that is not physical. I know it is not an easy word to translate in all languages. Does that help? Maybe Sarah might like to add anything to this.
Different words work for different people. Question: if the soul is not able to absorb the drishti given by a powerful soul, is it the ego which is preventing the experience? Does it imply that the soul is not soul conscious enough to receive it?
We all are. We all are not 100% soul conscious. Everyone has got some ego, but it is nothing is permanent. One day you may have resistance, another day there may be no resistance. To remain light about it also.
How can we know which milestone we are currently on this spiritual path?
Just one milestone we need is waking up. And we may wake up, but we may slide back. So this will go on. Know this beforehand. This is why we need to create this program to something to prod us. We have to be woken up again many times. Reminders.
A little earlier you mentioned something about deities don't need anything to exist, not needing anything to exist. Would you be happy to expand on that?
Sure. At least in Bhakti, one nice way deities are described, they are free from desires. So nice expression, Ichcha Matram Avidya. They are ignorant of the word desire. So I will expand on this a little bit more, and I will use the word. Someone who is absolutely secure. So any soul that is awake, he doesn't need anything for his existence. We are so used now in this culture, in this present world, we are so used. Animals, birds constantly want something. They are worried that they may die. Soul conscious soul is immortal. Immortal means he exists without any condition. And when someone is immortal like this, there is a absolute security, carefree. And when someone is secure like this, in that state, there is no desperation, but still there are desires. But these desires are to give. We never become free from desires. But there is a complete different quality of desire. Whereas when we are into our ego mind, ego is insecure. Ego sees himself as a potential victim. And anyone who is insecure like this, even a little bit insecure, there is a desperation. This is also a desire, but it's a different energy. It's a, and there is behind, there is a desperation. He feels insecure. And this is a desire to take. So ideally, there should be two separate words for this. Both appear English word, there is a desire. But what we are talking here is one kind of thing, desire coming from Ravan essentially, and the other thing we are seeing here, desire coming from angel, and it's a desire to express, desire to give, but there is no desperation within it. The nearest English word for this would be wish. We use the word, I wish you good luck, I wish something. And that's nearest, not necessarily the best, but enough to know that this one who is in this state and soul conscious, they are free from this icha. The Sanskrit word icha matrama vidya, ignorant of the word desire, desperation, complex. So that continues in the golden age, in the deity life. They are soul conscious. So there is no desperation about anything. And they know they are secure. And so quite correctly defined, they are naturally ignorant of the word desire. And does that help? Feel free. If it is not clear, feel free to ask.
Yes, it was clear. Thank you.
The other day we read about sweet silence, And in the words that were heard Baba speaking, Baba was also referring to the sweet silence. I'll just read a few more lines on that subject. That is what our whole aim is. The nice word, sweet silence, but it means there is no vibration. Even if there is a desire, desperation, then it is not sweet silence. So some words I'm reading here. No matter what the atmosphere around you may be like, even if there is some disturbance, whilst staying in the midst of sound, you have to practice being in a stage beyond sound. It is not a big thing to create a peaceful stage in a peaceful atmosphere. You need to practice being peaceful in the midst of peacelessness around. Do you know how to have such practice? Whether it is disturbance of sanskars or disturbance of waste thoughts, are you able to make yourselves unshakable in the midst of such a disturbance? When it takes time, it can deceive you. At the end, you are not going to get a lot of time. The paper of the final result will only be a few seconds or a few minutes. However, you will receive a number on the basis to which you remain unshakable in the midst of disturbance all around. If the disturbance around disturbs you, what will be the result at the end? Therefore, practice the exercise of spiritual drill. You need to stabilize your mind wherever you want, as long as you want. The final paper, you are told in advance. But the number will be given in a very short space of time. Number, score, your results. So let your stage be powerful. So let us create some experiment on this. One word that is used, mind. It is like an amazing faculty we have. And that's why we are here to play with this mind. Just like we got this hand, I can use this hand to touch something, and I can engage. I can touch someone and he will turn round. I can reach him with the hand. In the same way, with mind, you can reach someone. And in experiments, they find that other person actually turns around. If you stare at someone, chances of he turning around are statistically very significant. You think of someone, other person thinks of you, statistically significant. You think of someone, other person wakes up from sleep, in the middle of deep sleep. What happens is, with the mind, you reach other person. So it is just like a hand, another level. We have this faculty. If we are not even aware of it, what happens? Ravan is using this mind. Ravan finds it amazing. This is useful for Ravan. And Ravan will use it in that monkey story, the cyclical, going around in some circle. The 10 heads of Ravan are competing for this mind. So everyone is exhausted by the end of it. All 10 heads are exhausted, but you are also exhausted. We have the option to use that mind. And you can take it to the 3 worlds. What the sentence Baba used. You can use the mind where you want, as long as you want. Competition is Ravan. Ravan wants to take it into something else, and you have the option to take this mind where you want. And for us, that is the word of God that is more important for us. In the story we come, we bring the mind in the story for a task. This is like a little program you can give for yourself, even for an hour or so, or 15 minutes. Mind, it is your mind, and you want to use it. You got a priority. You want to explore this world of God. It is your world. Explore not the story, but let us first know the reality. And if it goes in the story, even though you have given this program, it goes in the story. Know that it is because of Ravan. There is nothing you're planned for the next 2 minutes. You don't need to think of the story. Your mind is free for you. So let us take this mind to God. This is an extraordinary thing. We are coming after this. After 5 minutes, we'll create groups, rooms. But during these minutes, let us experiment. We got this faculty mind. And as we said, with hand we can take somewhere. Here we are taking this mind to this another reality. 3 worlds. We are taking it beyond to the supreme region in 1 second. The parameters for this world, there is no story, no thoughts of the story, then you are in that world. These are coordinates. These This is a world of silence, home of the souls, home of the Father. So here is the world of light, expanse. We may see this in the color, region of golden red sky, world of complete silence, complete stillness. Timeless, world that is timeless, home of the souls. They exist here as stars. Home of the family. All souls belong here. This is the home of peace because no one creates vibrations of desire. That's why this is the home of supreme peace. This is the home of the Father. Home of the family and the Father. For the one who is Paras, this dimension appears normal. Immortality appears normal. To be like this presence appears normal. Company of God appears normal. Belong to God appears normal. God is one who is always Paras, always in truth. And so, free from that bondage in the story, truth is this. He knows the story for what it is. He knows the greatness of everyone. He knows all belong to him. All are like him. He knows this. Thank you. Small experiment. We saw here is a mind, and we have the option to take this mind where we want as long as we want. And it is a success for us to free this mind from the 10 heads of Ravan. And give it the highest destination. We want to come in the drama. And the physical world is also one of the three worlds. But let it not be Ravan taking us there. Let it be the soul choosing to come there when he wants. Om Shanti. Thank you.
That'd be a good focus for the rooms. Freeing the mind from the 10 heads of Ravan and giving it a high destination. Would you like to add anything?
That is good. Yes.
So if anyone is in the
Sweet
room,
silence, but experimenting also the meditation as a, what is, how to make this easy. That is our aim. How to get into the experience rather than imagination. How to make it easy in a 1 second. How to come in the alokik dimension. To reflect on that. Sometimes useful to know what are the obstacles, our inner obstacles. Baba is saying here, outside peacelessness and noise, that is, and also difficulties. Even in that, you have to experience the sweet silence, the highest stage. Because drama is drama. One moment drama, there is something going on, another moment something else is happening. You remain free. So this is a good area for us to reflect on, how to experience sweet silence in the midst of disturbance. Unconditional, then it is a success. Baba's one line was, to experience peace in peaceful atmosphere is easy. To experience peace in peacelessness, atmosphere of peacelessness. That is why we are here. To create peace. So you got 10 minutes to do all this.
just wanted to mention, if you are in the wrong room for your language, the quickest would be type a note in the chat with the language that you want to be with. So we'll meet back in 10 minutes. Thank you. Welcome back. And let's create a moment or two of silence as a big group before we hear some sharing from some of you. Thank you for the sharing. Today we're going to first go to Bali and invite Taka to say hello, share some thoughts.
Hello.
Taka, hello.
Om Shanti. It was very the group, and we shared and discussed the experience that each have, and then what comes up, like this is like there's a red line between among the members of the group that it is mentioned that and there is a web which is actually out from the first day, really answered. And it comes again about like when to stop. Like if the intellect is bypassed and then subconscious mind take over, because then it is like a cyclic thing. And then the other members also saying that the obstacle for us to stop it's from the deep-rooted sanskara, and then the pattern that in which how we perceive any situation. And then to recognize our pattern, we need to give our time for silence, and then we can know that when we are going to get disturbed, and then that's when we know that we use our intellect and then use the paras intellect and take it to the higher consciousness and stop the mind, not listening to the mind. And then the other member also said, and that's when we need to be with Baba, and then just put a full stop and start from beginning again. And the one problem also recognized is to stop meditation. To experience meditation is easy. It's the feeling of insecurity. So, and one thing that we realize that is practice is important. Practice, practice, and practice. So yeah, and the experience with Baba, it's important also because if we know and can feel that Baba valued me and the relationship is important and I am worthy to be loved by Baba, not depend on physical or drama. So that would be very valuable. So that's what we can share from the group, Sarah.
Thank you, Taka. Really appreciate those like clear steps and emphasis on silence. And it's really very nice to hear this option to start from the beginning again that you mentioned. Just for feedback, we switched your camera off, and after that sound was much clearer because connection was not as strong today.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. And if Mehmet is available, we'd like to welcome you to say hello. Hello to Izmir in Turkey.
Hello, thanks, Sarah. I hope the sound is okay, clear.
Yes, it appears good at the moment.
Yeah.
We'll let you know.
Yeah. Yeah. The soul is experiencing peace and happiness. He listens to the truth and speaks truth. Truth means free from Ravan, free from Maya, and beyond from the story world. Then it is easy to experience the peace and happiness and bliss all together. It is all connected to another yukti we shared, that to put a full stop in a second and experience peace within the soul. And of course, to use the Paras intellect to recognize the story behind the reality of the soul, the real world for the soul, with all awake souls together. All together, there is a peace and deep silence. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. You can give a wave if you like, because we switched your camera off too, because it was it's very nice. We heard clearly, and there's deep silence, and also awake souls together. It gave a really beautiful feeling here. And of course, if anyone would like to share in the chat any other thoughts that came up for you personally or in the discussion as well. Also, there are some questions from earlier, so we may be able to get time to ask Prashant a little more on that. So welcome back to Prashant.
Hi. That is great. Just a few more moments of attention. And during this silence, we are just experimenting with the mind. And what an amazing thing. We can take our mind where we choose, and it has results. We can take the mind to start with the home, because this environment of the home helps the soul. And the soul becomes conscious. This is the important milestone. Ordinarily, it is the ego-based effort. And we see this in ourselves. We need to see the distinct divide between ego-based and soul-based life. Simple. For ego, the role, body, drama, this is everything. This is important. When it is soul-based, the alokik, That word is important. That reality is important. It's a radical, huge shift. The home becomes important, father becomes important. Then when the awake soul thinks of anyone, it becomes a blessing. Still thoughts you are thinking of, but in that vision you are seeing the souls. The emphasis, the focus is the invisible soul, invisible brother. In that there is truth, but there is power. Thank you. So shall we come to any comments or any other sharings?
Sure. One that just came through from the Spanish group. How can you prevent the ego from creating an identity based on home, silence, perfection, and security? Because the ego can play with this too.
Of course. And if it is ego-based, ego will create, anything. But our game is we start from the soul. That is the game. And when we are using the word soul or presence, it is beyond the story. Then we use the language of the soul. Soul is from that alokik dimension. He knows that he's free from the story. So moment you are remaining free from the story, then ego is not there. Ego is based on story.
Okay, that's helpful. One question, how can we be peaceful when we are aware of the pain of others? It could be other human beings or it could be the pain of animals.
One is the pain in animals. It can be a film. You are watching a film. And in the film you are watching the photons. There is neither a human being or nor an animal. There are just photons there. You know it even. But you can be crying. And what is happening is your identification with what you are seeing on the screen there. You are identifying, and that identification, the ego, it is just another ego created based on what we see on the screen. And you feel as if it is, once you create an ego, you are taking it personally. So, if we were really concerned about the pain of the human beings, animals, we know about it. We don't need to be seeing it in front of us. We know there's so much going on. We will be applying ourselves. If we are really merciful, we'll be applying ourselves for that. But that is a different department, mercy and love. And here is a department of just another ego, another identification. And you are feeling mercy for yourself. Once you identify, you feel pity for yourself.
Yes, because ego will probably say out of sight, out of mind. So there isn't actually necessarily the angelic soul behind One other few questions, but is imagination an obstacle? That was something you were mentioning about in the questions for the breakout room. Experience rather than imagination.
Sure. Not an obstacle, but that is not the destination. Imagination takes you to a certain level, but that is not going to purify the soul. It is the experience that is going to purify. And for experience, you have to follow the disciplines, because the spiritual experiences cannot happen from Ravan. Spiritual experiences are not possible from ego. So the ego has to be restrained. Ego has to be made small. And so the disciplines, lifestyle, spiritual lifestyle is geared to stop Ravan, to make Ravan small. So as that happens, then just as if as we are speaking here, soul wakes up. Soul becomes conscious. And the conscious soul can have spiritual experiences. The process starts. Otherwise, imagination, anyone can sit in the pub and imagine God, what he wants, he can imagine anything. That is not going to purify.
I like this reminder of the context of disciplines in this, and it helps to give the framework for it. A little earlier in the reading from the Murli, it said something about your score will be known in a short time. Felisa would just like to clarify the meaning of that. Your score will be known in a short time.
Score. Yeah, Murli that we read. What Baba was saying, and this is a university, World Spiritual University. And a university, there are exams. So also there will be exam here for each one of us. In fact, every soul has an exam. And the last moments are the examination. And at the time of examination, all that is checked is how much are you connected to your sky and how much you are connected, you are tied in this club. On one side is the club and on the other side is your home and sky and father. How much you are trapped, that is what will be tested. So last moment, Baba said it will be within a few seconds or a few minutes. And that is the time you are aware, where your mind is going. During lifetime, you have created bondages here, then the score will be less. Different kinds of bondages. People, position, possessions. And these are, and as we mentioned sometime in the past, addictions, these are heavy bondages. Lust, heavy bondage. Some relationships, human relationships, one gets trapped in a big way. Heavy bondages. It's not easy to remember God in those final moments. So whilst there is time, Baba says, see, check if there are any bondages in the name of love or some nice Maya's labels there. But remain free. You are a invisible traveler here. And so we have to come out of the Ravan's camp. And soul, awake soul, over a period of time, changes his attitudes to the whole thing. Then the score will be higher. So, and this score decides our future, where the next birth is and whatever, which age you will be in. The worthiness to be in the golden age is based on this. I said first 8 is decided by by this score, the results.
There's a question here about mind. What's the difference between the mind and the intellect? Because the comment was from Carol, she feels she's working more with the mind.
Sure. Intellect is our faculty to discriminate and decide. Something within us says, yes, something is right, something is wrong. It is that faculty that tries to understand, it can change its understanding, can become clever, can become confused. So that is the faculty of the intellect, decision making. And mind is the platform where the experience happens, thoughts come. That is like neutral faculty of the mind. We said we want to experience home. So intellect is the one that takes the mind to the home. But intellect may decide, no, I want to think of something else. Stone intellect will take you somewhere else. So mind is neutral, but the intellect is the one who decides.
That answers the next question, which leads when we are awake and when we become unconscious. So am I right in thinking it's always the intellect that leads, either in the direction of more attachments or in the direction of freedom?
Yeah, the intellect is, so if one has stone intellect, helplessly one is taken in one direction. More our understanding changes, and then who would like to choose a degradation or sorrow?
It may not have been yourself, but sometimes it's mentioned observing ego or observing the pull of ego. Is just observing the key to finish these thoughts from ego?
No, but observation is a very necessary thing. Like if there is a robber, a robber is not seen. No one knows. Someone is dressed with a suit and a hat and a tie, and you don't realize here is a robber. Then he can steal. If you recognize here is a robber, then he will disappear. Chances are that he won't stay. Same happens here. If the weakness, in a big way, Ravan's hates ego, your subtle ego. If they are not observed, they will not just disappear. If you observe, this is the root of, anger or something. You have to recognize the subtle ego behind it, your identification. Then half the battle is won. Observation with this means it is creating light. You are seeing. And it is part of the process of understanding light. Just like with light, we are seeing the home and the truth. This also has to be seen. And then becomes easy to drop. Just observation doesn't disappear, but then you have to say, okay, I'm not going to feed it anymore, or I'm not going to act from it.
Question from Deep. How will staying in light help other souls?
How one person staying in light help others? It is like if you got a torch, you got light, and someone else, someone says, I'm hungry, I'm dying, give me food. But food is right in front of him. Food is there, but he cannot see it. There is a darkness. He says, I'm hungry, give me some food. So now once you have seen what is happening, all you need to do is shine light. If you shine light, he can see the food, and then the problem is solved. You don't need to go to buy food. It is already there. Same here. More you come in light, you become lighthouse, and you are able to shine light. More general or local, you can create this searchlight.
Nice example that the food is there, but the person needs to see it. It's very visual. Just a question here from Sue, trying to understand the practice. Understanding is the game is to start from the perspective of the soul beyond the story, and ego is not there. If the ego, because the ego cannot enter the soul world, one would have to be egoless at that moment to take benefit, to be in that stage. So is the soul actually karmatique at that time? Is the question clear?
Yeah. Ultimately, when we are going to the soul world, that time ego cannot go there. But to think of the soul world, no, ego is the mind can go anywhere. Mind can go in three worlds, and ego is another department. Ego is behind and experiencing mind. In fact, there is a nice reference in the Gita, in a scripture. A reference is in a certain renunciates. They can go into the forest. They go away from the things of lust and greed. They go to the forest. But they can take lust and greed with them. In the same way, we can go to the soul world, but we can take in our greed and attachments and complaints, everything with us to the soul world. So by itself, this is not going to be free. But that environment is better than the environment of the drama. That's why we said once you are in the shining light in the home, in that time we have to see, look for that milestone where your soul waking up. That's the milestone. Otherwise, then soul waking up has got a different game. Ultimately, when the soul is going back to the home, then it is a pure soul can return home.
Helpful. It's like a meditation reflection in itself. Pallavi has a question. When an awake soul thinks of anyone, it is a great blessing. So is the thinking of the other from the home the blessing, and the opposite is thinking in the drama? Thinking from the drama? Could you explain?
What happens is, if I understand right, when we are not soul conscious, we are body conscious. So ego is in charge. And our thinking of people, it also pulls others into body consciousness. Ego-based life is we are pulling everyone down the spiral, and that others pull us down the spiral. This is what is going going on and has been going on. This is what life has been. Why we are all in this state, completely drowning in this story, because we all collectively are taking everyone down. But we can change it. But ordinarily, so-called having good wishes and pure feelings coming from my own ego has no power. And they are simple, nice thoughts and may have some little benefit. But a soul that is awake, game changes. Soul that is awake is angel, and he is out of this pot, and he is seeing others with that conviction. He is seeing the greatness of the soul, and he is bringing light, bringing clarity when he's seeing things. So every second it becomes a blessing. It starts the process in others, and it will have its own journey. It doesn't do the work for other people, but it creates light. It becomes a blessing. But answer is right. We are double-sided, double-edged, sword. We can be bringing benefit if we are in one direction, in one space, but we may not be bringing benefit, but pulling others in body consciousness if we ourselves are on the other side of the line.
Maybe Pallavi would like to confirm if that helps, or would like to comment further. I know we're coming close, and we have a plan to show short clip of a meditation drill. Anything you would like to complete with, Prashant? Anything
Sure.
to share?
Let's create 1 more minute of essence. And we mentioned this before. The invisible presence in that expanse. And is aware this dimension is timeless, and he doesn't need to know anything else. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we finish with another drill, an invitation to create a few more minutes of concentration, just wanted to let everyone know there will be another advanced retreat in 3 weeks. And at the end, after the drill, we'll put the screen and registration details will be there, as well as invitation to join the mailing list if you're not already connected to the advanced meditation events mailing list. And we'll send an email with the details as well to all of you. And I think that's everything. We will be having the next retreat 2 to 4 p.m. UK time, so slightly later. In 6 weeks, we'll be having another retreat at the same time for the Chinese group, may like to attend. Just like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for creating time and also the translation team. So we'll create some more time together. Just want to check if Prashant wanted to add anything.
No, there's alternate timings, 2 p.m. or 10 p.m., partly to accommodate different time zones.
Thank you. And we'll finish with the drill.
Just one more thing we may just want to add. During these 3 weeks, let us create our own program also, along with what we are doing. And one simple aim to keep 4 hours, choose 4 hours of your day. And during these 4 hours, you want to, just these 4 hours, just like we are doing 1 minute program, but 1 minute then affects your rest of the hour also. In the same way, these 4 hours, preferably morning time, some morning slot you choose. And during these 4 hours, you are checking every half an hour what is happening. Are you, mind is going in a ordinary direction? Has it crossed a line? You have the option of the highest and the best. Is the soul awake, or what is going on? Is ego running the show? So aim is 4 hours for you to stay in the highest awareness, consciousness. If you want more details on this, you can, I don't know what is the best way to, you can mention, write an email. You want more structure for this, but you can create your own structure.
Yes, and Felice is asking 4 hours consecutive.
Continuous 4 hours, yeah.
And you were mentioning you may be at work also, but it's about the inner attention.
Yes.
You can email myself because you have my details, and we can get you connected to more information and support.
Yeah.
Oye Raja. Hey Raja. अपने मन मंत्री को सेकंड में ऑर्डर कर अशरीरी विदेही स्थिति में स्थित कर सकते हो। करो ऑर्डर 1 सेकंड में।
you.